Today, we are talking about entrepreneur mindset, how to be a great leader with Sean Pounds. Sean is the all-star CEO of the Savvy Business Chick, and it's a C-level executive consultant with over 25 years of unparalleled success, expanding across marketing, healthcare, and finance industries. Leveraging her information, her education, and extensive professional experience, she has been able to be a CEO of a multi-million dollar pediatric nursing agency. She's no stranger to leading in business and being an architect and creating great businesses, brands, and culture. So we're so excited to have you on with us today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, and I really appreciate you doing this for everyone who will watch it now or watch it in the future. Just to think, a virtual conference, like the last panelist was saying, this is a great opportunity to let new ideas just bloom.
Yes, that's one of the things that I love. And I got to tell you, one of my favorite things is bringing together brilliant businesswomen and just having conversations because good stuff always comes out of it. I feel like if we could put a room of really brilliant businesswomen together long enough, we would solve every problem in the world. Like, not even joking. We just
Exactly.
get stuff done and the ideas start flowing. So we're so excited to have you on today. I'd love to hear a little bit about how you got started in your business.
That's great. And it's actually it tied into my message about having an entrepreneur mindset. So, at the age of 26, I was out of work. I left
That is
corporate.
the best start of so many businesses, right? There was no
Yeah,
job, so figure
yeah,
it out.
I was out of work, and actually, I was in merchant banking. So after I graduated from college, I went into work with stockbrokers, and then I went into, I guess, that next level of finances. And I got this dream job working with an amazing team, and then some things fell apart.
Hmm.
And I was really devastated because uh, I wanted to go return back to corporate America. I had taken like a mini break and I was looking for my next step. And to be honest with you, I went to church. I went to church and I was sitting in probably like the third row
Hmm.
and kind of like passively listening because I was just thinking about what just happened to me a couple of days ago.
Right.
And then I received like an amazing word from God that I was supposed to start a business. So I was like, okay, cool. But the thing is, I thought it was going to be one thing and it ended up being
Hmm.
another. So I had all these skill sets in sales and marketing, and I even was a pretty good creative writer. So I thought it was going to be in writing or creating novelty books. And then, like, suddenly a mentor appeared. And so I'm such an advocate of mentors. So a mentor appeared and I ended up helping her. So by helping someone else with their business, I got mentored into starting my own business.
I had that same story. It's such a powerful thing that, and I think sometimes people look at working inside of another entrepreneur system as like, oh, I'm not doing it on my own. I'm like, no, that's the best training ground because you get to see the inner workings of what it looks like to really be a successful entrepreneur. I learned so much from those years of working inside someone else's system and I got paid to do it. It's awesome.
Exactly. Got paid to do it. And it was the grit that I needed to stay
Hmm.
motivated because one thing that you have to constantly work on in being an entrepreneur is not being an employee.
Yes.
Not being an employee.
It's so different, right? Like it's
Yes.
such a different mindset. So I want to shift into that because I feel like that employee mindset was trained and ingrained in us from the time we were children. And then you start as an entrepreneur, but it still is with you. What are some of the differences that you see between thinking like an employee and thinking like an entrepreneur and a leader in your organization?
Well, when The mistakes I've made in thinking like an employee is that I focused on the work versus, okay, what lies ahead in the future.
Hmm.
So I had to constantly be reminded, and I would say by the fifth or seventh year being in business, I started to get you need to work on your business and not in your business. So you
Right.
need to start looking at the future, like, okay, what do I want this to look like? Okay, this product or this service is looking really well. And when you're in an employee mindset, you love the results. You're like, oh wow, we just gained a new client. And so you focus on work, you focus on the operational part, but you don't focus on the vision part. And you don't begin to ask, what is the next step? What does the next level look like? And so many businesses have gone out of business because they weren't looking into the future. I was I
Yes.
was looking at, several things on Instagram, and I one of the stories was how Blockbuster had an opportunity to buy Netflix.
I
And
know. And they were like, no, everybody likes coming to the store. They see their friends and their neighbors when they're here. No one wants to just get things at home. And now we're like, what? I have to put on pants to go get a video? That's crazy.
exactly. And so that would be a great example of having an entrepreneur mindset, of looking into the future. What do I want the future of my business or brand to look like? And like I said, when we are in our employee mindset, we're satisfied with the results. We're like, okay, this quarter looks good. Okay, we finally got this system down pat. And although those things are very important, you you don't you're surprised when change happens, hence COVID-19. You're surprised when change happens. I mean, well, COVID-19 actually is a little bit different. I mean, no one would kind of
Yeah,
expect.
we couldn't foresee this one, but I know what you're talking about because you know, as an employee, you like stability and you like predictability and you like to know what's coming. But as an entrepreneur, your job is innovation. Your job is to be able to look ahead and say, what am I doing today? What are the actions I'm taking today that are building my tomorrow? And I have found that it's really easy to get lost in the squeaky wheel tasks of your business, to get into your email first thing in the morning and go, I need to do this for this person and this for this person and this for this person. And pretty soon your day is eaten up by other people's priorities. Whereas your, entrepreneur priorities of, I have a vision and I have an idea of something that I can create that will be great tomorrow. Nobody cares if that gets done today. So there's nobody holding like a timeline or, holding your feet to the fire. And it takes a lot of discipline to make those the higher priority task. So, Sean, how have you done that? Like, how have you made that sacred space of, I am working on my future and nobody's going to distract me from it? Do you have any tips there?
I do. Well, I started off by saying mentor. So I myself have a mentor. That mentor that got me started in business, um, she she passed, and I really felt the gap after she
Mm-hmm.
left, because when things would come up, I wasn't able to ask, what's the blueprint?
Right.
Mentors are kind of like cheat codes. Like, okay, all right. And even though the situation may be a little bit different, they can give you like a blueprint of, okay, this is how you can handle it. Also, I found that being around other business owners helped me to remember that I am a business owner too.
Right. Yes. We're
And
not just working for ourselves. We've got to can I just say too that if we honestly just make our business a job, it's the worst job ever because you you're it's just the worst job ever. It's so much easier if you're going to treat your business like a job to work for somebody else than it is to do for yourself. So we have to transition. If we're going to be happy as entrepreneurs, we really have to transition into thinking of ourselves as that CEO and that's that company owner.
right. And just to circle back with my startup story, I was 26 when I got started. So interestingly, a lot of my clients, when I would meet them at first, the first thing they would ask me is, "How old are you?" And so I kind of needed like other business owners to navigate through. Okay, that space of being a young entrepreneur.
Uh-huh.
And they also help me, like I said, to stay focused on the goal. The goal is building your business, building your brand, building valuable connections with my clients. And then as a leader, I left that in the hands of my team.
Mm-hmm.
So as a leader, I was constantly training my team. And I trained them to the point of which a lot of entrepreneurs may be scared to do. What will happen if I wasn't here?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so, I had to invest in them, because if I'm not there, or if I want that freedom to go to Hawaii or go, when I went on my honeymoon, I had to be confident that my team, my staff knows what they're doing.
Yep.
So mentorship is really important. I have a phenomenal mentor right now. It's actually a duo. It's basically a husband and wife, and
Mm-hmm.
they are in the UK, and they have a perfect balance for me that is not only business, but it's also relationship. So, people are constantly looking for that work-life balance. I'm able to see what that looks like with managing multiple businesses
Mm-hmm.
and running a family, and being spirit centered.
Yeah.
So it's like God is like just helping me out, like, okay, first I gave you someone to help you get started, now I'm giving you someone that's going to sustain you. So you
Right.
need to look for mentors, and sometimes people can mentor you in their books. Like, maybe it's an author that you always read,
Mm-hmm.
and they give you very helpful tips. So they can mentor you through your books. You may not never meet them, but they can
For
mentor you through
sure.
your books. Next, like I said, being around other entrepreneurs helped me when there were like obstacles, and maybe they went through something similar, and then we would discuss it, and I would say, okay, so this is something common that maybe certain businesses go through. But when you're thinking like an employee, you get really stuck, you don't know what to do, and you can only focus on the problems versus that there is a solution. This is all a part of doing business.
Absolutely. And, I love that you're talking about mentorship and having the right network of people to plug in with, because you should not go into entrepreneurship alone. It's think of it like a bad neighborhood that you got to go in there with your crew that's going to keep you safe and keep you protected, because there's a lot of risks when we step in. So this has been a wonderful conversation. I so appreciate you being on. For our listeners that want to get connected and plug in with you, what's the best place for them to go?
The best place for them to go right now is to connect with me on LinkedIn, and also on LinkedIn you can find me at LaShondia Sean Pounds, or you can also connect with me on Instagram at Savvy Business Check, and that's SAVVY Business Check.
Awesome. Well, we will put both of those into the comments. We appreciate you being on. Thank you so much for your time.